check in now with senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram up on Capitol Hill with this vote. Good evening, Chad.
Good evening, Brett. I tell you, this is as tight as you can ever find a vote in Congress right now. It is 215 to 215 on the House floor. By rule, a tie vote would lose in the House of Representatives. There is one Republican who has not voted right now. All Democrats have cast ballots here so far. We're looking at the vote matrix here in terms of the Republican noes. Mike Gallagher, a Republican of Wisconsin, he has voted no. Tom McClintock, a Republican of California, voted no. And Ken Buck has voted no. Keep in mind that Republicans could only lose 3 votes. Steve Scalise, the majority leader, is out. So this is at 215 right now. I mean, this is tighter than a new pair of shoes on a wet day outside. I tell you, 215. Again, a tie vote means that this goes down to defeat. So they're waiting to see who this one Republican might be. If they vote for this, then they win. They impeach Mayorkas. History is made for the first time since 1876, impeaching a cabinet secretary. The vote would be 216 to 215. But if it stays right now in this stasis, Brett, 215 to 215, that means the vote goes down. There's a lot of yelling right now in the House chamber because Democrats want them to close the vote. They think they have prevailed, Brett. We're trying to see. This might get very dicey here in the next couple of moments.
Well, we're going to stay with it, Chad. What was your deal? A pair of leather shoes and a wet day?
On a wet day, okay. That's right.
That was your best Dan Rather right there. Back to the old phrases. Listen, talk about the significance of this. You mentioned it's been obviously forever since a cabinet official has been impeached. But the fact that we just heard from Senator Lindsey Graham here that they're not going to have the votes in the Senate for conviction. But this does, to Republicans you talk to, send a message, and that's what they want to do?
It does. You know, they were trying to make good on a promise here in the House of Representatives. They said that they were going to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas. Some Republicans said that they were going to impeach President Biden. You had Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, saying earlier that the Republicans realized that they were having trouble impeaching President Biden, so they went to, as he termed it, Plan B to go after Mayorkas here. But here's the other thing that would happen. If you have a vote, and I keep looking off to the screen here just to kind of see where we stand with this vote here, but it's still at 215. And we have one member, still outstanding here. The significance, if this goes to the Senate, is they have to start a trial. You can't just say it's a Democratic Senate. Sure.
Let's just put the sound on the floor up and see if we can hear some of this natural sound. And then we'll pipe in. Just give it a second. We just heard some yelling there back and forth on the floor. Hold on. All right. We missed the big yelling, but there was some yelling there. Explain to people as they look at this graphic, Chad, 215 to 215. On the bottom it says 0 time remaining. So where are the other votes?
That's right. You know, they're trying to see if there's somebody who is absent or somebody who said they were going to vote yes. You know, it makes me think that Republicans, the reasons that they were willing to forge ahead is they were pretty confident that they had the votes, as confident as they could be in this situation. The yelling that you hear, these are Democrats hollering regular order, close the vote, because 215 to 215 by rule, that loses. You know, that's a tie vote. Tie votes rules in the House.
It goes to the
That's
opposition.
right. That's right. And the clock does not matter for people watching at home. This is kind of like soccer. You know, at the end of the soccer match, you always see, 5 minutes of extra time, 4 minutes of extra time. They keep these votes open as long as they feel that they need to. They don't have to close the vote by a certain time. They'll keep it open until they get that vote. And maybe there's somebody who they're trying to twist an arm right now. Maybe there's somebody who said they were going to be here or is en route. That's always a possibility. The other thing that told me that they were really on the edge is they flipped the vote series around. Remember, there was that other vote earlier tonight. We were told that the vote on impeachment was going to be first in the vote series. And what happened is they switched it around. Yeah.
Now what are they doing?
So if you watch down the bottom of the screen here, you're going to see somebody potentially come up and fill out a card. They're going to go to the dais and fill out a card, probably a green card, because they're going to signal that they're a yay, or a red card if they're a no, to switch their vote, or potentially to vote within that final minute or two. You have to do that manually in the House of Representatives. So what you see on the screen, whatever that total is going to be, that's not going to be official. Whatever they announce from the chair, that is the official vote total here.
So, Chad, the three, we know Ken Buck, McClintock, who's the
and
third?
Mike Gallagher,
Mike
Republican of Wisconsin. And he argued in the Republican conference this morning that it was a bad precedent for Republicans to go down this road because, you might have a Democratic House in the future and a Republican administration. You have not impeached a cabinet secretary since the 1870s, and maybe this becomes a regular activity now, kind of like it's become with presidents here. The other thing I should point out is that there were some other Republicans who seemed to be on the fence. You had David Joyce, a Republican of Ohio, a moderate. He voted yes, and you also had Dan Newhouse, a Republican of Washington, who voted yes. And right now, there's been somebody who has switched their vote to no, and that's why you're hearing cheering on the Democratic side. And again, look at that. The yays are losing right now. The noes are prevailing. It's 216 on the negative side to 214 on the positive side. So let's listen here. They're about to gavel this down.
On this vote, the yeas are 214 and the nays are 216. The resolution is not adopted.
Okay, Chad.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Utah?
This is really something, because you don't bring this to the floor unless you have the votes. This has echoes of the Speaker vote when McCarthy was going for 15 different times. And when we ended up with Speaker Mike Johnson, how do you do the count? You bring it to a vote to lose by one vote.
It's all about the math. And I was told before I came down to get on the air tonight that they thought that there were a couple people who they weren't completely positive who were locked down. And I'm told here from the House chamber that Blake Moore, who is now a member of the leadership who's speaking on the floor right now, he switched his vote from yes to no. And he's on the floor right now, and I'm wondering if he's trying to amend something right now. That's why Mike Johnson is speaking, but Blake Moore is now the vice chair of the Republican conference.
Let's
but
listen
bottom
for a
line
second.
is,
let's listen.
Suspend the rules and pass H.R. 7217, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title.
This is the Israel bill that they're going to now. Now, they need 2/3 for this. We're not guaranteeing that this is going to pass either, because you need this big coalition of Democrats and Republicans to pass this, and President Biden has threatened to veto this.
Yeah, Chad, amazing job, as always, keeping us honest on Capitol Hill, and there's a lot moving around. I want to bring in our panel early. Stand by if you would, Chad.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.